name is Alexia Shepherd, and get ready because you're about to chat with Alexia. We have got to talk about this. Now, I know the background looks vastly different. I have a bear sheet on my bed because my cat Handsome decided he wanted to throw up on my comforter. So that's why it looks like that. And then you'll also notice that the ugly curtains are gone. I think I mentioned in my aesthetics chatting with Alexia that I hate the curtains that were in here. We replaced the rod and everything. I'll show them in my vlog, like after the new vlog this Sunday. I'm gonna get cuter ones to put up, so that's why. And I also got new blinds, like better blinds. They're the like fancy like push-up kind, like they're very cute. It's cute. This is a series where I do my makeup and we talk about anything and everything, and I got an overwhelming response from my friends when I did the Polly Kloss case that they liked that one the best because it was kind of like a story and like true crime and stuff. So I figured today was the day that I brought back a true crime chatting with Alexia because I love true crime. This one is also inspired by the episode of The First Degree, the podcast, true crime podcast. If you love true crime, go listen to it. And we're going to talk about the kidnapping of Jamie Kloss today. I know I've been doing a lot of kidnapping cases. I don't know, they're just very interesting to me. I wonder why people do the things they do. Before we get started, I just want to remind you that you can find me on Instagram at Alexia Shep, on Twitter at Alexia Shep, and on TikTok at Alexia Shep, because who doesn't love TikTok? So I know that true crime stories are really very depressing. Like I literally was like, I want to find one with a happy ending, but like it's crime, you know what I mean? So there's not many like happy endings that you could like go off of. So I apologize about that. This is the case of the Kloss family. So their names sound alike. I just realized that Polly Kloss and Jamie Kloss sound so alike. They are of no relations. Their last names are spelled completely differently. They have no relation to each other. One way of that is that the Polly Kloss story was all the way back in 1993. This case was in 2018. This was not that long ago. This was literally like a hop, skip, and a jump from right now. And it takes place in a town called Barron, Wisconsin, as it is in most cases that you actually read about, like the ones that like track a lot of attention. They're in towns that usually don't have a high crime rate. And that was the case. Hey, can y'all stop yelling? That was the case in Barron, Wisconsin. I'm gonna introduce you to the Kloss family, which was a really cute family of three made up of James Kloss, Denise Kloss, and their 13-year-old daughter at the time, Jamie Kloss. They were a very sweet family, beloved, as it is in most of these cases. It was a normal night. It was October 15th, 2018, right? Jamie's asleep. James and his wife Denise were like having a wine night before. Like they like had a bunch of wine, just chilling. Like you know how you do with your spouse. Like they were having like spouse time. At 12:53 a.m. a car was parked outside of their home, and a man donning a ski mask and holding a shotgun approached the door and started like banging on the door, right? And James Patterson, the husband, he got up. It woke up Denise and Jamie. So like they're all like terrified. He wakes up and he sees this man at his door, and the man's saying like, open the effing door, open the door. Just like screaming. And oh my god, sorry. Concealer. The man is banging on the door like, open the door, open the door. And James Kloss is like, show me your badge. Which, I don't know what prompted him to say that. I often wonder, like, why would, like, do you think it's a police officer? Like, I don't know if he couldn't see that, like, he had on a ski mask, but that's what he said. And then the man shot him, like, in the face, like, fatally shot this man. Bangs down the door, gets in. And of course at this point, Denise and Jamie are terrified. They hide in the bathroom, and Jamie is like crying extremely loudly, like crying, like super duper upset. Obviously she's 13 at the time, by the way. I forgot to mention that. She was 13. So she's crying. Denise is like holding her like it'll be okay. And Denise actually manages to make a 911 call. As she's calling 911, it's like inaudible, basically. The 911 lady was like, ma'am, I'm so sorry, like I can't hear you, blah blah blah. Denise is like, there's a man that came in. Before you know it, in the 911 call, you can hear the man bust the door down, right? Like bust the door down and literally shoot Denise. Like, you can hear it. You can hear it on the 911 call, which is like terrifying. And then the call goes out. He hangs up the phone, and the 911 people called back only to get Denise's voicemail. So they knew, like, they're like, they were gonna send people out there, but they were like, oh, like something went down. So Denise is dead. And then he takes Jamie and he puts duct tape around her hands and look at handsome back there. Oh my God. He puts duct tape around her hands, leads her out, and she almost slips. This is what gets me. She almost slipped in the blood. Like, that is terrifying. That is literally like whenever I hear these stories, I'm terrified. Like, I feel like now that I've listened to this podcast and I just love true crime, my worst fear is a home invasion. Like, that is terrifying. Like, like, oh my God. So the man has Jamie and he throws her in his trunk and leaves. Now the police get there. First they see James Patterson like dead on the floor. And so they're like, oh, maybe it was a suicide. But then okay. And it always makes me, it doesn't make me laugh. It's not funny. But when police try to work out a murder mystery and they haven't dealt with many murders, I would just be so, they don't really, the logic doesn't make sense, but I get it, because like if it was me, I would be like, I don't know, I mean, like, I've never seen this. I wonder if they're thinking like, this isn't what I signed up for, but like, also I'm a police officer, so this probably is what I signed up for. I don't know. Like, I often wonder, like, in these like small towns with these crazy cases, what runs through your mind in that moment. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about, just even taking on that line of work. Like, they don't even be using their responsibilities the way they should be, but that's another chatting with Alexia. It's a whole nother one. So when they first see James Patterson, oh my God, I mean James Claus, for the last time, they're like, maybe it was a suicide. They hadn't moved on to the rest of the house yet, so they hadn't found Denise yet. But then one of the other officers points out, like, hey, like, there's no weapon here, so like, how is it a suicide? So they're like, okay, whatever, not a suicide. And then of course they move to the back of the house and they find Denise, and they're like, oh, this was like a breaking and entering. And then they realize, I don't know if it was based on all the pictures in the house, I'm assuming by like the pictures and maybe the bedroom, that they realized that they had a daughter that was nowhere to be found on the scene. They're like, okay, well, we're missing a 13-year-old Jamie Claus. Like, we need to find her. She could be out there anywhere. And this became a big piece of news in the area that they were in. Basically the whole state of Wisconsin. Because it's Wisconsin. Like, you don't think murder when you think Wisconsin. You think like cheese, right? That's Wisconsin, isn't it? And like cows and stuff. I'm sorry if you're from Wisconsin, but that's like all I've heard. I'm sorry. You know, Jamie's out there missing somewhere. I don't mean to smile, but I briefed myself again on the case, and it's just insane. Like, it's crazy. So Jamie's out there just like missing. On October 25th, there was a $50,000 reward. Like, everybody was looking for her. A lot of people were like involved in looking for this case. And you know how like every state, every town has true crime junkies. Now, this information that I'm about to tell you is exclusively from the First Degree podcast. They do this cool thing where on every case they have a guest that they called their first degree who's related to the crime in some way. It doesn't have to be like directly related, but they like knew somebody in the crime, or like, you know, like it's somebody that was involved with another person in the crime. They are the ones that interviewed this girl that I'm about to tell you about. So one of the people fascinated by the case is Kendra Johnson, and she worked an office job, and like all her coworkers were involved. They literally helped with the search. They like posted online about it. You know, like she felt like very inclined about this case, just because, you know how, like, I feel like if something happened in my state, like something this crazy, I feel like I would be one of those people that's like, yeah, like, let's figure this out. You know what I mean? Like, let's find this little girl that's missing, and now her parents are literally killed. And on January 10th, Kendra sees on the news that Jamie is found. So what happened was, this lady was walking her dog. She sees Jamie Claus. She didn't recognize her at first. She saw that she was wearing shoes that were like so many sizes too big and like tattered gym shorts and like she was in like boy clothes. And Jamie runs up to this woman and is like, please, like you have to help me. Like, and she kept saying, he's gonna come back, he's gonna come back. The lady's like, what's your name? And she goes, my name's Jamie Kloss. And so she takes her to her neighbor's house. They call the police and they're like, hi, we have Jamie Kloss. Like, I've looked it up. Like, this is her. This is who you're looking for. And they're like, okay. The police come and, you know, it's verified. Like, it's Jamie. It's her. They're like, so Jamie, like, who did this to you? Like, who kidnapped you? And she says, Jake Patterson. And for one thing, I don't want to say I get it, because I don't get kidnapping in general. I don't understand it. I will never understand why people kidnap people and just like keep them. I don't see what the appeal is. Like, if you look at like murder or something like that, I would never murder anybody. But have you ever heard that John Mulaney joke where he's like, I never understood murder, so I got cheated on? I can see the motive in murdering someone. If they like wronged you or something. Like, serial killers not so much, but like if you murder someone because they wronged you, like there's at least some kind of like logic. It isn't correct logic, but it's logic. But when you're kidnapping someone, like I've never understood the motive in kidnapping. I'm just someone, I'm very interested in like the way that people think and why they do the things they do. So this like stumped me. I just, even with Polly, like I was stumped. Like, why would you do that? But what I was saying is he like told this girl his real name. I mean, you kidnapped her, like so that's what I was saying by like, I get, like you told her your real name, but like you didn't think she was ever gonna escape. I'll get to like what happened like in that meantime, within that 3 months that she was still missing. I will get to that. But I'm like, she escaped, and she like, I mean, dude, she ratted you the fuck out. Like I would too. I would be like, his name is John Jake Jingleheimer Schmidt. He is 5'8". He is a Gemini. Like I would like tell like all of it. I would be like, look, this is the perp. Go get the perp, right? Now, this is when Kendra comes in, because Kendra reads the news that it's Jake Patterson, and she's shocked. Why? It's her brother-in-law. Y'all, if that ain't juice, could you imagine being like obsessed with like imagine if I was talking about like the Polly Kloss case and I'm like, oh, by the way, the kidnapper was my uncle. Like no, like that's crazy. That's crazy that like you're interested in a case and all of us, and like you're related to the case. Crazy-ish. Jake Thomas Patterson is the man that kidnapped her. He was 21, or no, he was 22 years old. Just seemed like a normal kind of guy. He was in the Marines, but they discharged him after 1 month in because of erratic behavior. This is crazy. He was a rich kid. Like literally he was living in a cabin that was owned by his father, and no one in the family like really anticipated this happening. So Polly gave the description of his car, his house. They found him and he literally was like, you got me. Literally said that. Like you're crazy. You're literally insane. They're like, why did you do it? Like why Jamie? Oh, did I say Polly? Oh my God, I'm mixing them up. They were like, why Jamie? This man apparently saw her get off the school bus one day and was like, I'm gonna kidnap her. And he said this to the police. Like he is like fessing up. He said he saw her get off the school bus and was like, that is who I'm gonna kidnap. And he also said if it wasn't gonna be her, it was gonna be somebody else. Like he was gonna eventually do this to somebody, like regardless. The time that he like actually like got there, killed the parents and took her, was his third time going to her house. He said he went to her house 2 times before that on 2 separate days and couldn't do it. And then that day he just was like, okay, it's now or never, and did it. And he said when he kidnapped her, he felt too guilty to like fulfill his sexual fantasies about her. Is that not like that is like, you are disgusting. Like, oh my, I just can't even, like, I can't, that is like, how do you think like that? Like, oh my God. And the kicker is, so every Saturday, Jake's dad, who owned the property, would visit him in the house, you know? And anytime he had visitors, he would hide her under his bed and put like containers and stuff around her so that if the container like moved, he would know that she moved. And so literally his dad would come over for like hours at a time on the weekends, and she would just be under the bed. Like, that is insane. The even crazier thing is that Kendra Johnson mentioned that he had a New Year's Eve party and everybody came to this cabin and freaking Jamie was under the bed the whole time. Like, and she didn't know that, obviously, like, at the time. But when it came out that it was him, 2 and 2 was put together, and Jamie even said, like, yeah, he had a Christmas party and I was under the bed the whole time. Like, that is crazy. Kendra and her family were, like, devastated. Like, they were literally devastated. Obviously, if your family member does something like that, the whole family gets shamed. Like, the name gets shamed. And, like, apparently, like, Jake's dad was like, oh my God. Like, he tried to, like, give an apology to, like, Jamie and her family, like her extended family, obviously, like it's just like it's really tough, and I don't want to blame them for what their family member did. It's just so insane. But the police asked Jake, like, they're like, so what did you do with her then, like, when she was there? He's like, we talked, I offered her like weed and alcohol and she never took it. And I'm like, you're crazy. Like oh my God, like I just cannot fathom that. Like, I can't fathom any sort of motive to do something like that. I really cannot. In the end, he was charged with 2 counts of homicide for her parents' death and 1 count of kidnapping. The family got to read like letters to him, like Jamie's aunt was like, my sweet niece will like never be able to like forget this, and like they're like tearing into him. And Jamie didn't attend like his sentencing, so her attorney read her letter, and y'all, it was the saddest thing. Like, she's like, I can't go back to my childhood house because of you. I'm not your victim, I'm your survivor. And I was like, yes, Jamie, tell him, Jamie. Like, I cannot believe that. Like, that is insane. And y'all, his sentencing was tough. So I told y'all the counts. He had 2 counts of homicide and 1 count of kidnapping. He was sentenced to not 1 but 2 life sentences for the homicides and an additional 40 years for kidnapping Jamie. So like, bye, like, sayonara. And he got put away, and like, it's just sad because like, she'll never see her parents again. Like, that's like very sad. They ended up demolishing her childhood house because she never wanted to go back. Like, I get, like, you can never go back there. Like, she ended up living with her aunt, and apparently she's doing really good. They said she's doing good in school, like, she's trying to move on. I cannot believe, I cannot like, why do people do things like this? I think about that all the time, and that family must be like, I like both families, because like, crimes, they extend to like so much more than like just the victims and the perpetrator. Like, think about like when Kendra read that her brother-in-law did that, her brother-in-law that she just went to his cabin for Christmas, and like, this boy, like, he had like, nothing was going on in his life that was too particularly terrible. Like, you didn't even have rent to pay. So it's like, why would you do something like this? Like, it just goes to show, like, people are crazy. Like, the world is crazy. But yeah, no, y'all wanted a true crime. I gave y'all the true crime story for sure. But that's it for this Chatting with Alexia. Thank you for watching. If you want some more true crime, let me know. If you can think of any cases you want me to cover, let a girl know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and join the flock. I actually got 250 subscribers, and that makes me happy. I know it's like a small number, but I'm really thankful that anyone watches this channel, like anybody. So that just makes me really happy. Remember, you're a doll and shepherds led by the stars. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.